This one's called clean sheet. Why? Cause I'm starting afresh. Yes, a mantis liquid or fresh. Yes, Air Force One is a crap. And this one's called clean sheet, bro. Why? Cause I'm starting afresh. Yes, man still looking all fresh. Yes, Air Force One is a crap. I been hitting gym, you punk. So I didn't really wanna put a casual E. 97's gone like a casual B. Man, I hit West End, got a stack on.
Today I'll be sharing with you my corned beef and rice recipe. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jay Thomas, and if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. In today's video I'm going to be doing a bit of cooking, and I'm literally just going to make corned beef and rice, and it'll probably take me about half an hour. So let's just get straight into the video.
My mum always told me I had a face for radio, but you know what, enough about that. We came here to cook, not about my own personal life. Let's move on swiftly. Right, so Jade is currently cutting up some onions and garlic because we want it to be nice and even, and we want it to be the same size because it cooks at the same rate, because no one wants no piece of onion or piece of garlic that's undercooked. Thank you, Jesus. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now listen up, people. People don't do this and it ticks me right off. Wash your rice now, man. You can use warm water or cold water, but warm water is best to draw out the starch from the rice. The reason why you wash the rice is to ensure that it doesn't stick together and it becomes fluffy when cooked, just like a poodle or just like me during the summertime. What you need to do next is add some blessings upon your rice in the form of butter and salt, which will make your rice light and fluffy, and also it will just make it nice and creamy and full of flavor and full of culture. And I'm not talking about Cardi B's daughter. Don't forget to season your rice now. Sizzle, sizzle. While your rice continues to boil, get yourself a nice frying pan and put your hob on mid temperature. Don't put on high because you don't want to crucify your onion. Let your pan sit there and warm up for a couple of seconds while you prepare yourself to saute onions and your corned beef. Remember guys, being organized in the kitchen is important. So now it's time to add your oil to the pan. I recommend you use sunflower oil because it's full of flavor and it gives your onions or whatever you're cooking with a nice, amount of color. Flick of the wrist. Don't forget to keep your eye on your onions. Give it a little stir so that the onions has the same exposure to the heat so it cooks evenly. Let the onions cook for about 6 minutes. When the onions are soft and are translucent in color, it's time to add the corned beef. Now is the perfect time to add some seasoning to your dish. What Jade's doing right now is adding a mix of all-purpose seasoning and mixed herbs. Here's where you can really explore and experiment with different flavor combinations. Now you need to break up the pieces of corned beef so that the pieces are more manageable, just like your loan repayments. 3 months, 6 months, a year, doesn't matter as long as it's manageable. After all that, you can add your tin of chopped tomato. Make sure you mix it in well. You want all them seasoning and all them flavors you put in the pot to be mixed in and to be infused in properly. At this point, you give a little taste test. If you're pro like Jade, you won't need to. But if you aren't, just make sure you season with some pepper and with some extra chicken seasoning. If your mix is too dry, you can add some stock, like chicken stock or beef stock. If you want to bring your dish to a new level, you add some green seasoning. If you don't know what green seasoning is, you can contact the I Don't Have a Life helpline. The number is 0800 I only use salt and pepper 2467. After adding your green seasoning, just like before, give it a good stir to make sure everything's mixed in properly. At this point, your rice should be done, so using your spoon you use for your rice, give it a stir. Using a clean separate spoon, notice I said clean, give your rice a taste. Whether just to check to see if it's cooked through, or you're just hungry because your food be smelling nice. During this whole time, your ground beef should have been simmering on a lower heat, so that it doesn't dry out too quickly. Just like some people's scalp during the summertime, or some people's sense of humor. Guys, give your food a little taste test. If you need something more, add a little bit more. Here's another word of wisdom. Be patient and let your food cook out. At this point, you can get yourself a plate and relax yourself, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. As a result, your rice is fluffy and light and flavorsome, and your ground beef is looking nice, smelling nice, and tasting nice. Well seasoned. A job well done. After all that, all needs to be done now is to eat it. Man, the plate looking good. Jade, you have to give me a plate for all the talking I just did.